Hello everyone. Okay, this should work. Probably going to... No, let's keep it this way. I can adjust the volume as well here. This should be okay, I think. Probably, maybe, who knows? Really, it's always a gamble with the... Especially with the desktop audio. I think it, like, with a lot of my streams it's a bit on the quiet side, but sorry. I sometimes have a dry, like, throat situation going on. Anyway, why am I looking at Twitter? Like, bad idea. A very bad idea. Why don't we just do that? Okay, yeah, that's a bit less distracting, I think. My God. So, what is it that I want to do today? So, I do not want to, like, I don't want to do like a level design stream today because I'm not feeling like it. And there's also like some stuff that I need to finish off with, like the overall game as well, because I kind of have to be done with it by the end of July with everything, and I'd like to have it like submitted to Steam and like be accepted and all that, because right now the game isn't able to run on Steam, and I kind of would like to finish this. But yeah, it's still a bit work that needs to be done in that regard. So I'm going to like postpone the level design stuff because it's not like vital for the game's release. Again, it's more like for an updated thing. So I'm going to do something else. And today I was thinking that maybe doing some tangential animation work. Where I'm not so sure if I'll actually keep it in the game or put it in the game at all. It's just something I would like to try out and see if it like feels better, looks better, or if it's like a bit pointless. And if it's pointless, I'm just not going to put it in there. But the idea is to like add a few more frames to the jumping animation, which right now is only 2 frames, one when you jump up and one when you jump down, and like obviously a separate animation when you do your double jump downwards attack. But yeah, so I kind of want to, really hoping that this sore throat, it's not really a sore throat, it's just like having to like all the time. Will like finish itself off at some point. I'm going to just like show you what I did this week already with animations, or like I added 2 things this week to the game. Like one is a very minute thing that isn't really all that relevant. But it's one of those tangential animations where I thought, oh, maybe it looks cool when I put it in there, and like I kind of want to keep it in there, even though it's like it's not the kind of game that like overly would benefit from something like that, but it's still like a nice thing to have. And the other part that I added was like actually a fairly large like mechanical addition as well. Give me a moment. So what I added to the game, and you can see it a bit on stream, I think, is like a stopping animation that plays when you stop. It's a bit more pronounced when you try to stop on something that has ice physics, obviously, but it's still like it kind of like has more like gives your running animation a bit more like weight, or like the character a bit more weight, because like even though you've pretty much come to a stop instantly, it kind of like communicates that actually you had like some kind of speed on yourself and like did something with that. So that's one thing. Also, like it only plays when you're stopping from full speed. So if you just do this, you're not getting this animation because that looked strange. So it only plays or only like gets activated when you're at like higher speeds. So that's the more visual thing that I added. The other thing that I added was this thing that when you let me get damage a little bit so that I can demonstrate it a bit better. So what I added was like a way of like when you dodge within like 5 frames or within 5 frames of colliding with the projectile. So basically right before it hits you, when you like initiate a dodge or like a dash, you execute kind of like a perfect dodge or whatever, like kind of like what you sometimes get also like in other action games, which has like a bunch of benefits once should I be able to actually do it. I died. It doesn't matter, like this is just a test space. So maybe let me demonstrate it again. So the perfect dodge does several things. The most obvious thing is and you can also do it through enemies. It heals you, like you heal about like 5 HP or whatever, which isn't a lot, but considering that there aren't like a lot of ways of healing yourself, it's still like significant. But that's the like smallest thing actually, or really. What it also does is it fills up your meter a tiny bit. So that's like another source of like you getting a full meter, which will then also provide you with more healing actually. So it's kind of like has like 2 purposes, or like 2 sources of healing in one, like to some degree at least. And what it also does is you can see like this enemy takes about 6 hits to get destroyed. When I do a perfect dodge, it only takes 3 shots. Why? Because within about 1 second after you finish that dodge, you have like increased damage. Like it's not a huge damage increase. It's not like, but it's still like from your base damage, it's basically double damage, like for just for a second. But it's enough to like make certain enemies again go down much quicker. Like in case of this enemy, makes it much less annoying because you're like much easier, like are able to like get rid of it much quicker. Because all it takes is 3 shots instead of 6. It like this also makes boss fights kind of interesting. Oh yeah, and the other thing that it also has, so now I have like a bit less ammunition, and what you were able to see down there, a perfect dodge also refills the ammunition partially. So you get, when you're able to dodge or like to initiate a dash, and like within the first 5 frames of that dash, you either collide with a projectile or an enemy. You get healing. Your meter fills up partially. You regain some of your special weapon ammunition, and you get like a short damage burst, which makes the whole like dash and dodge mechanic much more interesting. And I played around a little bit with it, and it is really fun to like take higher risks to just like, in order to get like a quicker way to fill up your meter, or like especially during boss fights, it's very useful to execute these very like tight and risky dodge maneuvers, because you get a refill of your special weapon ammunition and a damage boost. And considering that each boss has like a specific weakness to a specific special weapon, having both more ammunition to use it and like increased damage makes these boss fights, when you like execute them fairly well, much quicker. They aren't that long to begin with, but it makes them, like, at least I feel, much more interesting to engage with as well, because again, it's either like it's then your choice between, okay, do I want to do like a more safer boss fight but that takes a bit longer, or am I pushing myself as much as I can, take higher risks? And again, you have about 4 to 5 frames, I think it's 5 frames, to execute this dodge. And if you like mistime it, if you're too early, you don't get like the benefits of it, which isn't that bad. But if you're too late and press the button too late, you just get hit, and like enemies do a fair bit amount of damage. So anyway, that's kind of like the stuff that I've been working on so far, or like this week. Haven't done that much aside from that, also because I was a bit busy earlier this week with preparing Splinter Zone for the Steam Summer Sale. I did a whole new trailer for the game, which kind of was like necessary because like the trailer I had on Splinter Zone Steam page was like from right before it released, and some of the animations in that like trailer weren't like the as nice as like some of the later ones were that I like added like a few months after that. So I like thought, why not just do a whole new trailer, and also see if like making a new trailer, one that's a bit quicker about like showing people what's happening in the game, helps a little bit with selling stuff. It's like part of like the overall of something I did over the last few months, is like occasionally like working on Splinter Zone Steam page, which before this year I haven't touched basically since the game was released. So I did a bunch of like maintenance stuff there, like cleaned up the tags on it, and like again like cleaned up the description, added a few animated GIFs to it and all that, and like now did a new trailer. Like I wanted to do it before the Steam sale, just in case like there's always with like Steam sale there's a bit more attention on your Steam page, and like trying to like do at least a little bit more to maybe motivate people to buy the game, or like make people interested in the game. So that was that, and like that took a bit of time to get right. So that's something that I had to do this week. And aside from that, I mostly spent my week being a worm, kind of like just hanging around and not doing much. I mean, aside from that, I also did where the hell am I? Here. Aside from that, I mean, I played the Forge of Fiesta. I finished that one. I guess if you want to count that as an accomplishment. But yeah, so there wasn't that much, but like right now my goal is to like for next week I have to finish the pitch deck that I had. Like I had like some suggestions on how to improve it. And I want to start working on making GB Rover actually work on Steam, and like doing the Steam implementation and all that. So yeah, that's kind of like where I was at this point. I think that's the one. Yeah. Okay. Good. So yeah, as I said, I kind of want to work a little bit on jumping animations. Again, like what you can see is like, this is how GB Rover looked like before I decided to use the Super Game Boy palette. And this was the palette I used before that, which is like a big mess. So one thing I always have to do with like the old sprites, because I only really updated the whole PNGs and not the like these layered project files, because oh my god, this is like way too much. This was like again, way back like when I made GB Rover, it was mostly as a way for me to like just test out like, okay, does this palette work with a platforming game, and how does it look like when I assemble it? And it wasn't really like my intention to then go full on, okay, I'm going to make this game. It kind of like was, again, like for me to experiment a little bit in a time where I didn't really know what to do with myself. And this is, and yeah, so I built this and like built it in this way. And this is why like the sprite project files are still in this. In the most of them are still in the old color palette, at least. So it's like something I have to like adjust right now, just that I can like work on the animation. I don't want to flatten the whole sprites because I need to like be able to move the body parts around basically. So that's like something I have to do and have to keep in mind. Otherwise, things would just get like very messy. And like the animation that I like want to do, like basically I want to do like more in between stages between this state and this state, like depending on basically your vertical speed. That like the jump curve looks a bit more dynamic and has a bit more weight to it. I have to see how it feels in the game, because like overall the controls for GB Robo are fairly rigid, so having like a weighty animation might actually be a bit counterproductive, like in terms of like again how the game feels overall. So I have to be careful of that, and see like, okay, how much do I want to do this, and like where's like does it fit, doesn't it fit, and whatever. But for me, like the best way to figure this out is to do this and then put it in the game and see how it feels. And if it feels bad, I'm just going to remove it, and if it feels nice or like doesn't overly like impact the whole game or like the game feeling negatively, I'll just leave it in there, because again, if it's like, if there isn't any downside to it, like I might as well keep it in there just because it looks a bit nicer. So that's kind of the idea behind it. I also probably should okay, where are the legs? Okay, maybe I should remove everything that where I did the... This is interesting. Okay, whatever I did there, I don't know. No, I'm not messing around with this. It's not very important. Okay, let's do this and then do this. Okay, this is done. Now next up is like these legs. So yeah, and this is just kind of boring. I think this was wrong. Yeah, kind of boring, busy work to some degree. Like still something you have to do. But yeah, it's not a big deal. I have to just like remind myself of like what kind of colors I pick to replace the ones in the sprite, so that I don't have like weird like suddenly, I don't know, this part gets darker in like one animation and then and it stays the same color otherwise or whatever. So that's something I have to be kind of mindful of, so that like I don't mess this up. This layer can move down here because this is just like the eyes, and like I can keep those, so I can merge this down. So now we have this thing, and now we have this thing. Also, by the way, I might be using Sprite, and I'm using it like basically since I started doing pixel art. But I have no idea like about the more of elaborate like ways of using it. So if there's like a way to do it like quicker or whatever, I don't know it, and I don't care, because it works. I'm very much in the camp of like, if something works, why bother learning something new? I know it's like it's a bit of a like attitude maybe, but it's again like, if you have the time and like you're used to a certain way of working with something, why really change it? This is like isn't really a point to it. But anyway, so yeah, let's remove this one as well. God, these arms look terrible. But they look this way because like most of them are like hidden away anyway, so it's not a big problem. Okay, so now we have the whole thing. We can delete this layer. Nobody needs this. And now we add, at least for these, 2 new frames. So this is at yeah, most of the elaborate features of animation and super specific high resolution use cases anyway. Yeah, like I've seen some of the animation stuff, but like also because I never really like did like never really did like animation work or sort of like how I did this like from the beginning. I have no idea like what the purpose is of like what is it called, like onion skin stuff or whatever, where you can kind of like see the next frame, like have them like superimposed upon one another or whatever. Like this is just confusing to me, so I'll just stay with this because this is like this is comfortable. But at the same time, it's like something that I do like about this program is that you can kind of like decide for yourself how complicated you want to do things, or like not how complicated, but how much like into the more like complicated like options that it gives you want to go, or like how simple you want to keep things. But anyway, so this is basically the animation for maximum upwards speed. English is hard. And this is for downwards, I think, yeah. So what we do now, or what we have then, is oh, one thing. Oh god, do you see this? See this gray thing here? Like this? No, this can't be. This is unacceptable. I think I need to get my blinders up at some point. It's getting dark in here. Anyways, okay. So, what we then obviously have is you jump up and you have your legs this way at maximum speed, and the lower the speed is, the more like the legs kind of like do this motion, like trying to look at the webcam image in OBS, and I said okay, does this make sense? Anyway, this is like kind of the idea. Again, to put a bit more weight in there, I'll probably at some point also have to like do something with the arms. Yeah. But yeah, like this is like something we'll have to see. Maybe I don't have to do anything with the arms. I'm pretty sure I do have to do something, but oof. Let's see. I also really enjoy talking about this at length because then I don't have to do it actually. Okay, these are the legs. Good. So, let's go on. Oh, you're the... Nope, I'm in the wrong frame. Cool. Ah, yeah. This is awesome. I'm just want to check also like something this is like bothering me like to no end really. Jazz hands. yeah, kind of. This was bothering me, like because the canvas like was too small, there wasn't like an outline here, and like this looks not nice. I have no idea, like is this also like in Game Maker? Let me check. Player. Jump down. Yeah, cool. So we actually make the sprite a bit nicer this way. Cool. And then we'll you know what? Let's only care about the legs at this point. Yeah. And go from there. Also, like, it's been a while since I did animation, like, or like more complicated stuff. This also needs to change. Oh, I could just do this. Bah, this looks terrible. Let's try. Let's do this again. Not a big fan right now of this. By the way, this is how I do this stuff. Like, not with a big plan, and more like, oh. You can only do pixel art with your mouth? Ugh, this sounds awful. But yeah, this is, I don't know, like, I mean, if you like wanted to make your own tool, like, this is like so much work though. You know, maybe I should, let me just think about this. Okay, like there are two things that I need to do, because I undid them. Kind of size. 33 pixels, blah 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 blah. This and this. Like, you do have to, like, the antenna is very important. Like, it's the most important, almost most important part about Rover in general. Like, okay, so my idea was, maybe like a problem a little bit is also how the sprite is like positioned on the canvas, because if all I do is move the legs, there isn't like really much movement to it, right? So there is like a tiny bit of movement. Like I could also like just so that we see it in the game itself. Let's just run it for a moment. We can get a demonstration. This, by the way, might end up like, again, I might end up like saying at some point, okay, this isn't like, I'm not, I just can't get anywhere. This happens like quite a lot of times when I do this. Where I like have days where it just doesn't work for me, and I can't wrap my head around stuff. So this is how it looks right now. See, and there's like, because oh my god, this the missing outline, I never really like noticed it until today, and it's like, this is bothering me to no end, really. So also, like, one reason why I kind of want to add more like frames to this is because everything else kind of like has a bit more like bounce to it. Like here when you run, the antenna is like wobbling around in the background, all that, and here the antenna is incredibly stiff and it kind of feels wrong. Like also like here when you dash, there's like a wobble to the antenna and all that. So yeah, this, I have to do something with this. But anyway, what I meant is like kind of have some movement on the canvas, like with the, like, according to the speed that you have. So maybe I should go about this in a different way, actually. Let's remove not this, not, yeah, okay, only the robot body for now. And now I'm kind of kicking myself for like having like merged these two things together, but it'll be okay. It's not that big of a problem. So we have this state, okay. And then what we can do is maybe do this and do this. So we already have a tiny bit of movement here. Then we can maybe move it this way. So now we have like some palette is so nice. Yeah, it's like, again, it's I always like, I mean, Sprite has the side linked. Let me see. It's not from Pixel. Is it Android Arts? No, it's not from Android Arts. There's like this one, there's this one color palette side. Was it? Or was it Android Arts? No, it's not. Like, damn it. Nadindeska, so many from there. No. Anyway, there's like this one website that has like a ton of like color palettes that you can like choose from and all that. And I just like, I was like scrolling through it because I was looking for like a maybe it was Android Arts, I don't know, let me check. Yeah, I think it might have been Android Arts. Androidarts.com. No, it wasn't. Not a silhouette shift, and the highlight wouldn't move that way in real life, but maybe tweak 1 or 2 pixels on the highlight for the up and down motions. Well, do you mean it could be low spec? Yeah, I think it is, because while I was typing it in, lowspec.com/palettelist, oh, I get a 404. Let's see, does the site exist? Not anymore, it seems. But yeah, I think I got it from there, like somewhere. I don't, like, it must have been like something there. Also got this, like, I actually worked with this palette, never Creature 15 for a while, like on something else, and this is where I like kind of realized that, wait a second, maybe I should work with less colors and not more. And then I was looking through stuff, and the Super Game Boy palette looks really nice. And I thought, hey, why not just do that? It's also like again. Yeah, I mean, like the highlight. What if it's not a highlight though? It's actually a bright spot on the head. But yeah, I can understand this. This is like, I'll deal with it at a later point. At the same time, let me see. This is. I mean, yeah, okay, it moves here. Okay. It's not always static. Good. Yeah. That's actually a good point. I have to. Anyway, for me, it's like right now it's just like, okay, get the like singular frames that I want to have right, and then I'll deal with this thing here. I'll do something. The own pixel palette Gemini saying it's all magic to me. Yeah, I tried this once. It was like a complete disaster. And I'm not doing this ever again. It's like I mean, it's like also partially it's because like when you're colorblind, it's like a problem anyway to find out like, okay, what works. And what I like about this palette as well is that I can, like, one thing that I like kept doing with other color palettes and like more extensive color palettes is I always drifted towards using a lot of blue shades or bluish shades, and not much else, because like I could like fairly easily discriminate like different and all that. But yeah, so in this way, what I like about it's like 4 colors that work really well together. Like I can basically I can use like the really dark and the really bright colors. I can use these in between colors, and they all work. DB32 has so many blues. Can use that? Yeah, exactly. Like it's and best like the only kind of bluish color is like the like darkest shade here. That's the only one, and like frankly I don't want to have more of those. So the colors work really well together, and like everything looks, I like both that it's very coherent, everything, and also what I like about it is that the environments all have this kind of like either like sunrise or like sunset atmosphere to them, because there's like a fairly there's like some like fairly huge contrasts, and everything has kind of like a red tint to it overall. So I do like the overall atmosphere also. Also Game Boy, it's like always good. Anyway, so okay. So now what I can already do, for example, is move this leg up. No. This leg up. No, this isn't like very dynamic, obviously. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not authenticity is never really what I'm that much interested in, to be honest, but it's like definitely something that I like, because or like, again, what I like about it is that like it all fits, and I don't have to like, it both fits, and also the resolution works for me. Like if you compare like GB Robo to Splinter Zone, what I never really liked about Splinter Zone was that the screen resolution was too large for the sprite and tile sets, sprite size and tile sets that I use. It always felt off to me. Like Splinter Zone has like a resolution of like 426 by 240, and GB Robo has 256 by 144. And is it 100? Yeah, it is. So it's much smaller, but like the dimensions fit much better. The problem is a tiny bit that, especially like in vertical screens and vertical sections, you don't have a lot of space to build stuff. Like especially with a platformer, like you can't build like cool like. I'd like to put it this way: a lot of the challenges I put in like vertical screen sections in GB Rover can easily be circumvented because you also have a double jump. You can oftentimes just like jump around enemies in there and all that. But oh well, that's kind of a problem. Like in terms of like, you have to kind of work around like the space that you have in the end. I mean, I could have done something where like, okay, the screen is more free scrolling, but I frankly like, I definitely don't like free scrolling completely, like and like in all directions. What I really like the only times where I would like free scrolling is when you have like very clear distinction between, okay, this is a horizontal area and this is a vertical area. I always find, especially with smaller screens, that if you have like a completely free moving camera, like the spaces get like very disorienting very often, and like also sometimes feel just it's a like, probably not the best way of describing it, but unnatural to some degree, like very constructed to me. Okay, God, I'm just not. I mean, the reason also why I talk a lot about this stuff, because I do not want to like look at this right now. Okay, this. So, okay. This leg moves up. This leg moves down. Also, this leg maybe moves over here. Okay, this is kind of... Okay, now we have this part. Maybe this is enough? I don't like how this leg moves. Also, this is not good. I mean, this is also kind of the problem of like the whole character design basically being a ball that has limbs attached to it without much consideration of where the limbs are attached to. So this is kind of like also why this might look weird. Because like again, like see it here, like it's just like, yeah, they're like somewhere, like but like who knows really where they are. Like you can also see it. No, where? This is the final one. You can also see it here. Like this is so not good. I don't know. At some point, if I have the time, I'll try to fix it. But yeah, at some point, I try to adjust this design of Rover more to German words, more to this one, like from the promo art, because the artist Simon Sweetman did a good job of like trying to figure out, okay, like if GB Rover were a robot, like where would everything be attached? Like how would it be attached? But yeah, but I'm not like this is basically this is the largest kind of like pixel art I ever did, and I'm actually happy that I actually managed to do this. So I try not to tempt things, really. Maybe what I could do though, maybe this looks a bit better also. The problem here is that basically these like it still moves one upwards, but these two basically it's just like the difference only being the leg getting shorter and no real vertical movement, and the vertical movement coming here. Could do maybe is put this one. Always forget this one further up. So now I can go in here and put this one further up. But now this whole thing looks like, okay, this isn't moving at all, and this is. This moves, but this doesn't. So I can't really. I mean, what I could do. listen to a different song from the game soundtrack. This surely won't get me any copyright things, because I would have to copyright strike myself. Okay, cool. Let's not mess with this. Ugh. Okay. Whoopsie. I was just thinking about, okay, where would the highlight have to move? I might also have to like change the shape a little bit. we'll have to see. Okay, this is kind of okay-ish. Oh, by the way, the best part, like what I find really funny with the way Robo is constructed, is right when you like move the eyes just like 1 pixel further to the left, he looks directly at you. They look directly at you. It's just like. Okay, let's. Oh god, the arms will be a mess. Let me think. I might have some sprites where I can rip the arms off and like use them as like a better base. I mean, I could wait a second. Where do I have it? Dash. Oh, is it here? Yeah, okay. But I do need. Ugh. I don't know if this is more like useful. I'll have it like up in the background just in case. I'll just like work around that. It'll be okay. Okay, so we'll keep these frames, this frame and this frame as they are, because that like looks so weird without the antenna. It's incredible. robber hanging off of like a washing line or clothesline. Clothesline. Wait a second. I think we can do this a bit better. Anyway. Okay, I think the like most basic part of this is just like, oh yeah, I like moved the wrong arm. That certainly helps. Okay, there's the other arm. This looks so, I don't know, like this sprite looks so shocked, like, oh no, like, this is actually like like if GB Roba would have been caught by the police and would give up. It's like, hands up, like, anyway, I'll just like, it'll be okay. So now the very important like antenna question. What I want here is, so this is again, this is like with the highest upwards momentum. So the antenna bends back a lot. This is like when you're like about to, like when you slow down, and so the antenna kind of like springs up, and then is it? It has to be like a, you know, kind of like it has to lag behind the rest of the movement, and right now it doesn't. Like it very strictly follows the trajectory. So let's move this down here. I think what might work here. Let's see, like if it maybe it looks strange, but I'll have to see. No, let's remove this. I think I need silly, but I do need more space up there. A bug. So that I can go here. Ugh. Should I have enough? I'm just going to do this just in case, basically. Let's just take a look how and see how it looks like. I'll think about it. Okay. Okay, so the interesting part here is, as I said, I switched the whole I did the whole palette shifting or like color shifting basically within the sprite folders of GameMaker. But for some reason, when I duplicate a sprite, and you can see here, this is like a duplication of the jump sprite up here. This one is like with the Game Boy palette, but when I duplicate it, for some reason it always uses the previous version. No idea why. Well, that's just what it is. Right now I'm thinking about how to best do this. There are basically two ways. And like the problem is like I'll have to see. I think I'm just going to like for now just like also I could maybe let's see. I think just like from looking at this, I think I do need to like exaggerate this leg more. Like the difference between these two poses isn't large enough. Oh yeah. I think that's like a thing I would have to do. But like before I do that and like deal with that, I have to I kind of want to like at least like for now display it in the thing. Also just in case I mess something up like colossally, and I want to have like a quick way of restoring what I like made before. I'm just going to copy this whole event over. Anyway, so word of warning, this is ugly. This is very ugly. So down here, this is all like what player controller and so on is. So down here, this thing is the like what sprite gets displayed and animated part of everything. So, and what we need to find is the part where the jumping is. So this is all irrelevant because this is all like sprites when you're on the ground, which don't interest us at all. So, and these are the sprites that only appear when we are not on the ground. So when we're jumping, when we're on ladders and all that stuff. So this is the part that's especially interesting, again, because this is like where there are no ladders. So next step is, this is like also, because this is basically at some point I did a platformer game template for myself with the like player object and the player controller that had a bunch of options in it where I could then decide, okay, I wanted to have these kinds of movement options and not these. And this is basically a thing that handles like wall jumping or like grabbing on walls, which is why it's there. This is like when you attack. This is the air dash, obviously. This is for dropping down and going in a slide. So drop, slide, and now we are in jumping. So this is for the double jump, which again we won't touch. And this is for the new jumping. Right now, what we have here is just two different sprite indices that get displayed whether or not like even like whether you're like, or when you're if you're like when your vertical speed is below 0, which means you move upwards. My logic looks similar until I bit the bullet and actually wrote a rebad state machine. Yeah, I mean, yeah. The interesting thing for me is like, I can read this fairly well, and I know like it is incredibly unelegant when I add new stuff to this, because basically what I do is like, as long as it's not inside of this weird thing, I just like add another bracket to it and like make it larger. But inside of this, like I can deal with this as long as it ships. Oh well, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure it will. This is also one of those things where I'm thinking about, oh yeah, and I do want to would like to get everything to a state where I could port stuff like to consoles or whatever, or like let someone else do this. And this is like, maybe I should go through this and like comment this and like, I'm so sorry. You have to deal with this. This is why I did it. Anyway, this is like, okay, for this stuff, and you can see here, this is for I know, I think I know how I could do this actually. Maybe not. Like, and the question now is is more like, not okay, how, so how do I, it's not that hard. So what I like basically want to do is like, okay, if it's below 0 and if it's like close to your maximum vertical like upward speed, or like within a certain parameter, display the most extreme sprite. When you're in like kind of an in-between state, like show the next one and the next one and the next one. The question I have right now for myself is, and I think I'm going to do it like rough, instead of like handling everything within one sprite and like just displaying different like indices. Like, so what I could do, and it's something I do in others, like in other cases, what I could do is just say, okay, if you're like at maximum vertical speed, display like this, use this sprite as your basis, but only display this frame, and like depending on the speed, display a different frame basically. of this animation. The problem, however, is that I would have to like manually adjust the animation speed when you're jumping, and I would have to make sure that the animation speed always properly resets. And since this is like very, very, very far into like me building the whole movement system, it's like I'm not going to go in there because there are like several like weird edge case things where this might not work or might break or whatever. No, like I don't want to deal with this. Like this is something that for a like future game I will probably set up in such a way that it always resets properly and all that, but I'm not dealing with this now. Guess those kinds of straightforward if-else trees are actually easier to put since it doesn't rely on specific language cleverness. Oh yeah, maybe, who knows. It's more like, okay, this person has like, I'm pretty sure like this isn't something where like if you port a game like from Game Maker Studio 2 to like a console, that this is the part where like it will cause issues, because I'm pretty sure this like kind of logic is like the same, like independent of the platform. So I doubt that there will be any problems here, but who knows, really. Like my main concern is like, okay, what if like a part of the animation breaks somewhere like during a porting process and people have to like go in here and figure out what the hell went wrong where. And that's kind of like an issue. Like that's not an issue that I have, but that's an issue other people might have. Anyway, so again, what I will do instead, as I said, is I am just going to let's do it differently, because I forgot which frames I deleted. This one. Yeah, okay, this is the correct one. Jump up. People will help me, hate me. Number 2. Also, let me see. Jump down. Wait a second. Wait. Wrong object. Just let me see where I adjusted the image speed, because I have the sneaking suspicion that I might have already done that. Image speed dashing. This is just like I've done terrible state trickery before, retrieving sprites by their position in memory, but multiple of the current frame count times sprite size, and just sort of gave up adding new sprites after letting myself into a call. Oh yeah, I mean, I have even no idea what you said, but yeah, that sounds complicated. Okay, yeah, this is for like being hurt. This is like ladder stuff. This is, yeah, okay, no, I never adjust the image speed while jumping, so I'm not going to touch this. But what I will do, oh, by the way, there are also like sprites obviously when you jump and shoot, but I won't touch those. Like those are like good, and I don't think that there's like, I have to see, but I'm pretty sure this won't be like a huge issue. What I will do though is I will go in here and replace this with like 2 sprites. Like first of all, because this way I might have to let's do 6. Oh, let's do 8. I also have to change. Let me see where the origin is. 16 by 24. Because if there's like a problem with the sprite origin, like you might end up like landing in a wall. It shouldn't be, because the position of the sprite, like where everything is should be the same overall. I think. Also because the hitbox is never drawn from the sprite, but like it's like a completely different sprite, so it should be okay. As long as the hitbox is basically always drawn in the same coordinates within like the whole thing. So yeah. Anyway, okay, jump down. 2. Okay. Now we can go down here. Jump, slide, jump, slide, jump up, jump down. Is it this one? Jumping true, jump equals true. Yeah, this is like the one. Because this is basically when you haven't pressed the jump button, but still not on the ground and like not in a different state, because so what is your maximum jump speed? -5. Okay. This way. Okay, and now we can go here and just replace all of this. This should work. It probably won't because I forgot something or whatever, but one can hope, right? Yeah. And now only displays the in-between states, I think. Maybe. I think that this might be the problem. The in-between states are too long. Like the amount of like time you're in the in-between states are too long in comparison to the like maximum states. Yeah, okay, we're getting closer. Let's do 1.5. No, 1.5. This looks nice, I think. There's only one problem, like if you can see it, like you like for very, very short moment, your foot gets displayed like in front of like the floor, which is kind of not nice looking. Also invisible ladder. Still my favorite sound effect. Maybe even like go down to like 1. But yeah, I'm bothered by the foot moving through the floor. I'm honestly bothered by this. There's a very, very, like, very easy fix for this, and let me see. How do I, like, boing boing? Yeah, that's like always like another part of like what I find like always fun just to do. It's like pressing the buttons over and over again. Okay, so just thinking, is there like, would there be an issue for me to just do this? I don't think so. Let's just check this out. There would be like some problems where I would have to adjust stuff. Okay, how do you get over there? Well, I can go into the main menu from the testing screen. Also, you like this is all like spoiler, like final level stuff. Ooh. This. Okay. How much, like how much of a problem is this? First of all, this is kind of strange, like when you start the game that your sprite is kind of like displayed within the floor, but like when you move, it's not anymore, which, like, okay. How much am I just like getting like annoyed at like minor things that no one will notice? And I think that's something I'm going to just like try and see. How much will I notice while I play? I think even it looks kind of nice. That's good. Like there's like something where it might look strange, but I'm just going to try and play the game and not look at it. Like, just like, okay, will I notice it? I don't think that I'll notice it. Maybe I should give players also damage boost when they like manage to roll through several enemies at once or something like that. Kind of like the idea that when you actually manage to get these very, very, very far launches, that you're like, and you then like you stop your roll at some point, that you kind of like be able to just like make whatever is like in front of you explode with one shot, like basically, or like very quickly. Hooray! Oh yeah, by the way, this is like a sort of hidden mechanic in the game. So what's not hidden, or like what is at least explained in the menu, is that when you're below 5 HP, your damage gets increased. Kind of like to simulate, the like you're pushing back against like whatever is wanting to, or the more the game pushes back against you, the stronger you get. What isn't explained is that when you're like, first of all, the game always knocks you down. Like the first time you get knocked down, like, or the first time you're supposed to be knocked down below 0 HP, you always get knocked down to 1 HP, but only the first time. The second time, it won't happen anymore. And when you're at 1 HP, your damage gets increased, and when you activate hyper mode in this state, normally with a full bar, you only heal about half of your HP. When you activate hyper mode in this state, not only do you get another damage increase, and have these drones with you if you've like found them in the levels, that shoot with you, that also get their damage increased. Like if you manage to survive the whole thing to the end with a full bar and like do hyper mode and go through everything, you get healed back up to full. So I could do it here, but that's not fun, right? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Good. For a second I was shocked here. I already beat that boss, so there are no boss fights. Yeah, so I didn't notice it, so I don't care. Well, let's put it this way. This is something where, like, if I have like way too much time on my hands and really don't know what to do with myself, I'll go back to this and like try and like make it not this. But I think this looks nicer. I can quickly check this, very quickly check this, by just like opening up the game like outside of Game Maker. This is like an older version that doesn't have this, so yeah, I think the other one looks better. Yeah. There's much more like much more movement in it, so that's cool. That's very, very, very cool. What do I want to listen to now? Oh god, not this one. Oh, this is a good one. This is the overworld music. Oh yeah, one thing I now would like to try is, so when you jump, what I like, this is also something that I think I tried in Splinter Zone at some point, but didn't implement it because it looked wrong. But what I would like to try and see, and this is also something how you could maybe mitigate this, like seeing the legs sticking through the floor there for a frame. What I would like to try is like having like when you jump, have like some kind of like dust particles fly up. Just to have like a bit more of like, okay, again, trying to communicate weight to some extent. and also maybe have like something where like some dust particles are flying off when you land, and your like vertical speed is fairly high while you land, so that it doesn't like come when you like just do this, but only when you like basically have like very, very high jumps to some degree. Again, like finding ways to communicate a bit more weight like to the character and see how it goes. I sure wish more people would like share my GB Robot tweets instead of that one thing where like a podcast said something nice about Splinter Zone. I mean, I'm happy about that, but why do I? Oh, no, does it? Anyway, I think just like for testing purposes, I think what I'm doing is it has to be like somewhere around here. So much stuff. What I'm looking for is somewhere I have, maybe it's in here, who knows, yeah, okay. This is the teleport sprite from Splinter Zone. I'll use it in like 2 cases, I think. So, first of all, let's get rid of all the extra colors here. Now, obviously, this isn't a good jumping animation. Like, this is like basically having this play after you jump upwards. It's like way too long. You don't usually. Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah, I could, yeah, probably. But it's like, again, I'm like used to it. This is like, I was mostly looking at like the file names, to be honest. Which frankly sometimes isn't the best part as well, but yeah. So okay, let's see. How do I want this to be displayed? How does this look like? Oh God, what's like, if you know a game that does this, you know, like when you jump with a character and then like a dust cloud puffs up like after they jumped. God, do I have a game that does this? Just so that I can look at the animation for a moment, that I know what I'm looking for. Like, is it? It has to be something like this, and then it disperses, right? Like it goes this way, like kind of, but not really. I don't know if this is like. Let's see. Shovel Knight doesn't do this. Nuclear Throne doesn't do this. Does Iconoclast do this? Mega Man doesn't do it. Luftrausers isn't a platformer. No. Dragon's Dogma is also not like what I'm looking for. Anodyne 2. East Wonder Song. Does Celeste do this? I only have it on Switch, so I have no idea. Like, I also haven't like fully played it because I'm done with these kinds of games. As nice as it is, it's like not my kind of thing anymore. I don't have the patience for games like this. Can we get a jump? Yeah, okay. It's just like there's like a lot of stuff going on here actually. If you look at it. God, this makes me, you know, I think like I have like a good feeling about like how to like communicate impact with like my games and animation and like particle stuff and all that. And then I'll just look at 10 seconds of this and think, man, like this is like there's so much still missing. I mean, it's not exactly the same. Like the whole like squish and stretch that they're doing in this, like I'm not like, this isn't like for GB Robot there, but God. Yeah, okay. This is but this is basically just like a puff of smoke. So I don't think that I have to do much here. But like, to be honest, I am very, very, very like surprised how little of like the normal game it is being shown there. I don't know. I'm not buying the game just to look at the particle effects. I mean, God damn it. Give me a moment. Whoops. Threw away my headphones. Almost fell on my face. Okay. Still alive. Now, the question is, do I still have Celeste installed on this thing? Yes, good. Prototype screen nearer to your resolution. Yeah, like that's not really the thing. I just want to see what happens when you jump. And I like can just like, again, I have it like on Switch, so I'm just like surprised how long it takes until it like gets going. Okay, so in Celeste, when you jump, there's a small dust cloud puffing up, but when you land, there's a bigger one. But it's just like a puff of smoke, nothing more. And it basically like displays, if I like when I see it correctly, the same kind of like dust cloud no matter where you like jump off. This is like wall grabbing and all that isn't that important. It's something I will have to look at for my next game, but not for this one. Okay. I'm kind of happy with my own dash animation. Just like looking at stuff, okay, like things where like think about, okay, is there something else I could maybe use? But this is just a puff of smoke. This isn't like very complicated to do actually. And I think this should be enough to communicate weight. So let's just try this and see how it looks like. But I'm not going, like I do have a smoke sprite that is from the explosions, but I don't think that I'll use those. smoke, 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 smoke. So this is like from the explosions, but it's too large, I think. So I'll do a 16 by 16. Okay. What annoys me a great deal, to some degree, I have a folder of reference images for pixel art, and on my old PC, I had a bunch of, like, I don't know, like a bunch of folks did like GIF tutorials for like pixel art and animation and all that stuff, like with like, where like they were fairly large images where like I don't know, like if you want to animate a fire, these are the principles, and like we're deconstructing this stuff partially. I had a bunch of those for like very specific cases. And when my old PC fell apart and I set up the new one, I forgot to do a backup of this folder, so I don't have any of this, which means I have to do it myself. It'll be fine, I think. So what we have to do, and to some degree, I think, is have like different. Wait a second. I shouldn't have closed this game. Just to, again, see what they're doing. But I don't think that it's, like, very complicated. I think I need to, like, establish a, like, floor, however, maybe. Saint made lots of those. I think this was, like, one of... There were, like, 3 or 4 of these people, like... I also like got some of them like they like from their Patreon accounts or whatever, and like they displayed them there, and I copied them and saved them without paying them because I'm poor. I can't pay everyone. Okay. Okay, I think what's important here, and I look at this, is basically what I need to do is, let's just keep these for now. Have like an upwards movement here, like this, and like how they like slowly disappear. This way. So, nope, that was too much. You know, like this. And just have like more particles like that. Kind of. Because this is kind of what Celeste is doing. I just dashed into some spikes. What it also does, I mean, and that's the thing, right? Is does it like does it have like particle emitters, or, and I think it does. This is because it's slightly different. Anyway, not to like spend too much time on this, but I roughly know what to do, maybe. So let's just do that and not like bother too much with like the details. placed the thing and like immediately deleted it. Let's just try and see how this looks. I don't think that this works, but the smarter way would be to do like a particle system, but never really bothered learning how to do them, and I'm not going to start now. It's funny how like way back when you like when I started making games, there was a lot of like, oh god, I have to learn how to do this because otherwise you won't make a game. But at some point you settle into like a routine of like what you do and what you're like not doing, and then it's like learning new stuff. Never. No. I'm not. No, I'm not doing nine. No, never. Who would like think of such a thing? Preposterous. Six frames. That's not 15. No, 10. 9. Well, let's go 12 for now. It's like, God. Okay, on ground. Jump buffering. Let's just put it here for now. Oh, that already exists. This doesn't need a variable. I'm silly. Okay. Let's see. Let's see how terrible this looks, because I don't like how this wasn't a lot of effort right now. And this is also like part of like, okay, I like not knowing what it's supposed to look like. I mean, this does kind of work. It needs to like, I need to push it up a bit. And maybe it needs to be a bit wider. Oh, I forgot. So let's do this at first. Also, one thing I should be doing maybe is deactivate the full screen mode, so that I can see a bit better what is going on. Also have to start looking at the clock, because at some point I have to stop and go and make croissants. Yeah, okay, yes. I feel like I can make it wider though. Actually, sprite canvas size 24 sprites. 24 pixels. I find it kind of shocking how well this works, because this is not complicated. Not at all. But oh well. This, I find this so fascinating that this is just like a 5-frame animation of some like particles flying up. But this does so much to how the jump feels. Like nothing changed in terms of timing or the physics or whatever. But it does so much. It's incredible. Like really incredible. Oh my god. Okay, it's like something. Okay. Just want to like increase the spread of the particles a bit. I'm going to make things very easy for me, in terms of like all the for the let's see, maybe not. Well, I'll see how everything looks towards the end. Okay, now basically let's do the same. But with landing. to see, okay, where jump. Somewhere around here I have the thing where it plays the landing sound effect. Ground stop dust, stopping. Yeah. Ah, here. Also duplicate. Sprite. Player, this one. Player. What is my maximum falling speed? 12. Okay, bigger equal then. Let's say 8. I have no idea what like with the normal jump like thing. Let's create layer. There might be a problem, but we'll see. Where I have to, I might have to like trigger this somewhere else, because vertical speed gets set to 0 the moment you land on the ground, and this is where it checks what your vertical speed is. So I'm pretty sure this won't work. Yeah. Okay, but that's not a big problem. We can very easily fix this. Can remove this from here. We can put it on here somewhere. Ground. Okay. I think like since I'm like kind of taking some stuff from Celeste, like in terms of like particle effects by with jumping, I like to like point out that this whole framework I use for platforming and collision detection and the physics of jumping and all that was made by Mehdi Thorson in the ancient times. I think it was like around 2008 or whatever. Yeah, it's called the Grandma Platforming Engine for Game Maker. For a while you could have found it on their website. I don't think that you can anymore. But yeah, this is like... the thing is, the kind of license requirements for you using this, like way back, was to link to their website and mention them somewhere in the credits to some degree, like that this is using this. So, which is why in the credits, like this, it says like of GB Robot says like Grandma Platforming Engine by Mehdi Thorson. Still have to like get in touch with them and like ask if like Med Makes Games is still okay, because it's kind of dead naming them, but I don't know. So on ground. This is on ground. Is this on ground? I think this is not on ground anymore. Yeah, on ground. No, not on ground. So. So what I want is that the dust particles only come when you like have like a fairly high like vertical speed, like indicating that you're either like somehow like falling faster or like jump from a greater height. Okay. Looks like I still need more of this, because this only gets displayed when you like slam to the ground. So maybe let's do this. I do want it like to be displayed like when you definitely when you do a double jump and land. Wait a sec. Okay, this doesn't trigger with a normal jump. I kind of would like to have that. But I felt 3 was too low. I'm actually surprised how little your jumping speed goes into like the positives. I was actually like assuming that it's much higher. But yeah, this is kind of like, see, like a short jump or medium jump doesn't trigger this, only like basically you have to like do your almost or maximum jump height to get this. Okay, let's try and see how this looks in the game again. Let's pick this level. Oh, by the way, you can't like do a perfect dash while you're in iframes. So you can't just stand inside of an enemy and like keep dashing around. So like something I had to like put in when I realized, wait a second, you can't just do that, and like things would get like fairly strange. You could basically keep healing yourself. I think this is good. I think this is perfectly fine. Also, the like high amount of jumping frames when you're not shooting like doesn't make a difference really. Wait a second. This looks strange. Oh, I know why this looks strange. I haven't updated the parts where where like these frames are handled by like you're not jumping, or when you're not basically haven't pressed it, when you haven't pressed the jump button. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. Okay. Ugh. Awesome. Big fan. Really big fan of this. The boss portrait is still missing here, which is why you also see Cadence Exaltation, even though this is vintage perspective. It looks a bit different. By the way, here you can kind of see why I put the stopping animation in. Because it looks kind of like more interesting this way. Also, this landing animation kind of hides the fact that for a short moment your foot clips through the floor. Kind of. Problem now is that I kind of have to like re-record a bunch of footage because like stuff just looks better this way. I feel. Oh God, why did I get hit here? Okay, no, this is good. It does what I wanted it to do, and that's awesome. So let's call it here, I think. That's a good place to stop everything, really. I am incredibly happy with how all of this turned out, blah 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 blah. It's been great, and thanks very much for watching and like commenting and like offering advice. I would have probably forgotten to like do the the highlight shifting around and all that, but anyway, Thanks again. Like, this has been great. And it's very, I think it's very hard to like to realize how much of a difference stuff like this makes when you're not having the controller in your hand while you're putting this in. I find it like it's always the same. I find it incredibly fascinating to see, especially when you already think, oh, I think I have like I nailed the controls. It all feels like very impactful and all that. And again, you change nothing with the way the like jumping works. You don't change the physics. You don't change like the timing of the controls or whatever. It's just some like graphical tweaks, and everything feels different, but in a good way. Like, and that, but at the same time, this is why you have to like test stuff like this, and also maybe have to decide, okay, this doesn't work for this game because I don't know, it might make it feel too weighty, floaty, or whatever. But I don't think that this is the case here. So I'll just keep everything in there and be very glad that I did this, because it's also always like this thing where like when a game is basically done to some degree. I mean, the game is basically done. Some minor stuff aside. And you like think about, oh, do I want to maybe add like some stuff like to the movement system still? And at the same time, I'm at a state where I do have the time to just like fiddle around with this a tiny bit and see what else I could add to make it a bit more interesting, or maybe to improve like what is already there. And this is like a nice place to be in because I don't have to rush myself and I can experiment. And like if something doesn't work, I just don't have to put it in there. So no, this has been great. I'm really glad that I did this. And this way the game is going to be better. Which is like a good thing. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, and if this wasn't in any way convincing, maybe if it wasn't already convincing, please go and wishlist GB Robo on Steam. It would help a lot. It would also help if you like could follow the game there. You can do that by if you go to a like store page, and there's a follow button. Follow this item to see announcements in your community activity feed, which means that like, for example, if the game gets released, you see it like somewhere like also in your library and whatever, I think. And you're maybe also more likely to get notified when it gets out per email. I have no idea, but like there's something like I read somewhere that like apparently follows are like a good thing also to have, like, and that wish lists actually aren't that important and like blah 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 blah. I hate numbers and statistics, and I generally do not like doing this, but at the same time, right now this is like asking for wish lists and follows and whatever is for me is the best way to kind of gauge, okay, how well might this game do? And so far, like, everything looks very much like Splinter Zone did, which at least this time I'm prepared for it more. But like I know what I'm making here, and it feels really good. So if you're interested in some way in this and feel like maybe this might be something for you, or you might know someone who might like this and all that, please let these people know, put it on your wish list and all that. And obviously once it's out, please buy a copy. But aside from that, also buy a copy of Splinter Zone, which is currently, as of like recording or like streaming this, currently 50% off on Steam during the summer sale. It's also 50% off on itch.io, but right now I'd much rather people buy it on Steam and maybe write a review for it, because I'm far ways from getting a rating, which also like does visibility. At some point I need to like write a longer thing about how much I dislike having to like instrumentalize basically my customers or people that like my work to do stuff for me so that I might earn some money with it. I feel I don't like this, but again, it's like part of this whole stuff that you're required to do. And yeah. So if you enjoyed Splinter Zone and have bought a copy on Steam, please consider leaving a review. It would like help a lot, especially now. Like only 4 more, and like there's a rating attached to it, and then like it gets displayed in the discovery queue much more often than it does currently does. So it would help a lot. You can also buy it on itch.io, but chances are very high if you bought one of the 2 bundles of the last 2 years, 2 larger charity bundles, either the Palestinian Aid bundle or the Black Lives Matter bundle from last year, you already own the game. So there's that. But yeah, it's 50% off like until like early July, I think. I don't know how long the sale goes, but usually the 1st or 2nd July, week of July. It's only €2 or like $3 or whatever, so it's not very expensive. And that would be great as well. But right now also, please wishlist GB Rover. That would be great. And I'll try to do these streams once per week. Again, it's usually like build a small level for like a future update, because that's something I have to do anyway, and I think that's a nice way to like demonstrate how I build these stages and what I think about when I'm building them. I might also like maybe stream some other like again like minor work on it that I still have to do. Like I need to start implementing achievements. I have like a bunch of very silly ideas that I would like to put in there, and this might also be something that I would like to stream. But again, I try to do these streams once per week, like usually during the weekends, is that Saturday or Sunday, like afternoons or like afternoons, Central European time. Aside from that, the archives will also always go up on YouTube. Also follow at Mokograd on Twitter if you haven't already. It's like where I post my game stuff. Somewhere there you would also find a link to my personal Twitter account. But I complain a lot about stuff in there, so it might not be the best thing. And now I'm rambling on. Anyway, wishlist GB Robo on Steam. I hope you have a nice weekend, rest of the weekend, whatever. And I see you soon. Bye.